When I popped off, then your girl gave me just a little bit of la chop, baby, so cold.
Welcome back to another episode of the JBC podcast. This is our fourth episode covering the NFL. Before we jump into it, anybody watching that's not subscribed, we'd really appreciate it if you guys subscribe to us, leave us a comment, like the vid. Yeah, we just really appreciate it, guys.
Dang right.
Help us grow our channel. My name is Brody. I will be the host tonight. I'm joined with my co-host Chris
What's up, everybody?
and my other co-host Jacob.
How's it going?
How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm a little nervous right now,
Why's that?
but Astros game's about to be on. Game 7.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a crazy one.
Yeah. Well, you already know who's winning, right?
I hope the Astros.
No.
But
National.
it would be kind of fun. Well, Nationals win. It would be funny because Bryce Harper first year out, get a World Series.
Not a single home team won. That'd be
Crazy.
funny. But yeah, no, I'm doing good. Just it's snowing up here, so it's a wee bit chilly. You know, I gotta save that money, not running that heat. So gotta do what you gotta do. But
All right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
doing good. Ready to dive in some NFL talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
We
get
had a
right.
crazy day yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's get right into it. So the trade deadline was it was yesterday, correct?
It sure was, brother. It was yesterday.
It sure was. Okay. Well, so there were definitely some trades or some trade rumors going around. I'll let either one of you guys, y'all can pick who wants to start with some of the news about some trades from yesterday.
I'll start off. I want to start off with the Jamal Adams trade to talk about the big rumor, which was kind of crazy because he apparently he asked the GM to not get traded. He wanted to stay with New York. Apparently, the GM went behind his back and started shopping him around. And one of the big interests was the Cowboys. So that's kind of crazy. If that trade would have went through, I think that would have been a crazy trade. I think the Cowboys would have definitely won that trade, unless they probably depending on what they sent. But I thought that trade was going to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever he came out and spoke and said that he didn't want to get traded,
Yeah.
that's kind of I don't. That's kind of weird. I would sit there and honestly, I'd feel my loyalty with the GM. Like, why are you going to shop me around? Because Jamal Adams is the best defensive player they have.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know why you would shop him around, but I don't know, man. That's pretty crazy. That was probably my biggest thing I read and was like, what the hell is going on?
Well, I mean, you know, if you're bad and you're wanting to get some picks or another good player, of course, trading a player like Jamal, you're probably wanting to get some like future first round picks in return. But I mean, if you're bad and you got good players, you can get good assets for those players to help you rebuild. But I don't know. He's still really young, so I feel like you should keep him.
Build around him.
Build
That's what I
around
was
him
thinking.
and Quentin Williams in that defense. So I don't know. That Twitter drama was crazy with him saying that he talked to him, said I want to be in New York, and then people were saying how he went in and talked to some teams and was interested in maybe getting traded, and it was just who do you believe on Twitter? It's social media. Social media has just become such a just kind of like a crazy news outlet to where like you don't know what's real and who's telling the truth. So
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
Yeah. What about you, Jacob?
Yeah.
You got a crazy trade?
Crazy trade?
Or a crazy rumor?
Well, I mean, Aqib Talib to the Dolphins was I thought an interesting trade. Obviously the Rams did it to free up cap space to re-sign Jalen Ramsey.
Sure.
The Dolphins get a good stud in Aqib Talib, but he's getting old, and
Isn't he hurt right now?
Yeah, he's hurt. So it's a bit of a gamble. I mean they
My bad.
I mean I think the Dolphins low-key won this, or they pulled it out. It was a good trade for them, just because, they traded away Minka, so they lost probably their best defender, or one of their best defenders, and they pick up another, Pro Bowler. So that for me, and I guess one other thing was the Trent Williams not passing his physical for the Redskins. That was kind of
Well,
funny.
he said the helmet felt weird on him.
Yeah. All right, Antonio Brown, whatever.
Yeah, like he's like, I ain't going.
Whatever you say.
Whatever you say there, gent. But yeah. I don't know. What about you, Brody?
Looking back at it, I guess the most surprising thing to me kind of that happened was Jalen Ramsey getting traded from Jacksonville, because up until this year, or at least I hadn't really heard anything about Jacksonville wanting to trade him or anything, but he demanded to be out.
Oh yeah, he got in a huge scuffle with his defensive
Yeah.
coordinator. They
That
have
was-
not been getting along.
Yeah, but Jacksonville still got some good trade assets though for trading him. They need
Yeah.
2 mid to late first round picks and a 4th round pick, and that's gonna help them rebuild, kinda. Even though Jacksonville seems like they've been in rebuilding for about 10 years now, they need some more talent on that roster. It doesn't matter if it's young, old, whatever. They just need some more talent.
Yeah, definitely on defensive side.
Mhm.
Their offense is not too bad, but their defense kind of want to hold them back a little bit.
Yeah. That's the biggest one that I got. That one and the Marcus Peters going to Baltimore.
It was more of just
Yeah.
like a anticlimactic trade deadline. There was a lot of like big names, You had Jamal Adams, Le'Veon Bell, AJ Green, Trent Williams, and even some Tom Brady.
Yes, I saw AJ Green. He posted on Twitter, or he said to somebody through ESPN, and ESPN posted that I'm not a 1-year contract type of guy. Give me a long-term deal or let me go.
Yeah.
I did see that.
I mean, he's good.
Yeah.
He is good.
He's just injury prone.
hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But none of the big names got traded, so it was kind of depressing. I mean, I know we talked about Jalen getting traded in the last episode, but
Yeah.
Well, the thing, like Tom Brady, I saw a tweet saying that he might go to a new team next year because something about he wants to prove that he can do it without Bill Belichick. Do you think that he could do that?
now,
I don't think so now. Not
no,
now.
I think he
Well,
could
no.
now. Simply because, I
think-
mean, how much more can he be developed? The dude's already the GOAT. I mean, there's not anything he can learn. He can literally run the offense by himself. Like, he has a good enough IQ that he could probably go to any other team with any other head coach and still do his thing. I mean, now if he was still young and like in his rookie, sophomore, third year, probably not. I think if he had a different coach to start him out, I think maybe his career looks a little bit different. He doesn't have, all those rings, but I mean now he could probably do what he's doing just about at any team. Now,
Well, they said the Chargers. They said that if he goes to the Chargers, he wants to
Well,
go out to LA. for
See,
that.
I don't deny Tom Brady as being, the GOAT of NFL or anything, but what I'm thinking about is if he can get himself another ring. If he wants to prove it, he's got to find himself another top defense. I'm not questioning him and his offensive capabilities. I'm questioning what's his defense going to look like.
Well-
Because his defense this year has carried him.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, you replace him and Phillip Rivers. Do you think the Chargers are better offensively?
Well,
Yeah.
no, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
It's kind of tough.
Just a
It's
thought.
kind of tough.
I mean, as a career, yes, but this year,
Well, I don't know. Philip Rivers is still a pretty good. He's still a good
He's a
quarterback.
good quarterback.
I mean, he's set up in that offense. Now Tom Brady, Tom Brady's really, like with the Patriots offense. But the thing you have to take away is he's going to go into a new offense. Could be a different play style offense, and he could not maybe run it as good. I don't know what the Chargers what they run usually.
I
but-
think if he did go to the Chargers, I think they would change the system to fit around Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I believe that's what they would do. Even though that's tough because if he did go to the Chargers, Melvin Gordon should be back, right?
Yeah, he is back.
Yeah, he's already back.
So it would kind of depend. Would they rather have a run first offense led by Melvin Gordon, or would they try to incorporate Tom Brady more?
Well, just think about it. You're getting what Tom Brady has now, and you're replacing his skill positions with Hunter Henry, Melvin Gordon, Keenan Allen, and Mike Williams versus what he has now. So,
Yep.
I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not the biggest Tom Brady fan, but I mean I got to respect what he can do. I just think that if you put him on any other team, the games may be a lot closer. I mean they've blown out just about everybody. The games could be a lot closer, but I still think they find ways to win. But
Oh yeah.
you never know.
That'd be
He-
interesting to see.
He is. You can kind of see it. It's always like him and LeBron are the comparison of the two sports in today's age. They're both, considered the GOATs. LeBron's like, maybe second best of all time, third best, just depending on who you ask. But they're both at a stage in their careers where anytime they don't have their spectacular superstar Pro Bowls, whatever it may be, all-star performance, everybody's just quick to say their careers are declining. When in reality, when LeBron posts an 18-point triple-double, it's an underperformance, even though 90% of the people in the league can't do that. Or Tom Brady throws for only 280 yards and 2 touchdowns, but they still win by 14, 21 points. Tom Brady's declining because he's not putting up the stats he is. So I don't know.
No,
But-
I never look at Tom Brady declining if he doesn't have a outperforming game. I mean, Tom Brady pulls out a win. I think that's Tom Brady doing what he normally does. Because Tom Brady's going to get you out of a situation to win the game. Obviously, we saw them against the Falcons when they were down.
There's
That's
some
good.
Herm Edwards stuff there. You play to win the game.
Yeah.
Well,
But
what
I
a-
think Tom Brady's a clutch quarterback. Tom Brady's going to find a way to win, like with Bill Belichick. That's why they have a great mind. They're going to find a way to win the game.
Yeah.
Right. I was just saying that
Um,
because I think I can see a little bit of a decline in Tom's game. He's thrown a lot more picks this year. His stats
Okay,
are
yeah.
down. So I was just saying you
Yeah,
could see
I
a little
mean,
bit
he had
of
a couple
decline.
questionable games.
But
Yeah. Well, there's another one. This one's funny. Andy Dalton getting benched on his birthday.
poor
He had 0 turnovers this
Poor
last
Andy.
game.
poor guy. The dude, yeah, he had
Poor
zero
Andy.
he had 0 turnovers. I mean, Andy Dalton, you can say what you want about the Bengals, but Andy Dalton, the only good player he's been surrounded by is AJ Green. And he's been hurt a lot. I mean, Taj Boyd, or not Taj Boyd, Tyler Boyd is a good receiver, and they had John Ross, but he just didn't work out. Why, I don't know. Joe Mixon's a good back, but he's not a superstar. And I just that offensive line is mediocre. It's in the middle of the pack. So like you got to feel for Andy Dalton, and he's not been a terrible quarterback.
He's like Philip Rivers. He's good. I mean,
Represents all redheads around the nation.
Got to support the brother.
yeah, Andy Dalton's a good seasoned quarterback, but obviously we'd really. And I don't know how many times he's been to the playoffs, but he's not. I mean, he's a good quarterback. I mean, he stays a little consistent, but like you said, there's no one really around him, and they really never had a good defense for him to go off. Because in the NFL, you got to have a good defense to be able to your offense to produce more than what. Yeah, that's
Pac-Man Jones, man, that was the last time their defense was respectable. And Vontez
Yep.
Perfect, even though he was a
Cheap
Dickhead.
player.
yeah.
You think Teddy Bridgewater gets signed next year? by another team? He thinks stays with the same.
Teddy does need a starter. He does need a starting job.
I know, but he said he didn't want to. He said he didn't want that.
He-
I still think that's so weird.
That is weird.
You may think
He-
maybe he's
he
a
should
psychic
go-
and saw into the future and was like, Drew Brees is gonna get hurt. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna smoke these 5 squads real quick with ease, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, Teddy
No.
can still ball."
And then I'm gonna take my seat on the bench.
And then I'm gonna go back to the bench, and people are like, "Man, we could really use Teddy. We'll pay him
I
big
mean,
bucks."
he could.
I mean, it's just like maybe not
he
to an
could've-
extent of Nick Foles, but I mean, Nick Foles got a starting job.
Yeah,
And
and
they got hurt, right?
that didn't turn
Mm-hmm.
out well. But he could. Teddy could just love the atmosphere in like NOLA. He could just love it and just wants to stay. Because I mean, he probably will be the next quarterback if Drew Brees retires here in a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he might be looking at that like I can be because Saints are going to be good. I mean, they have the good receivers, they have a good defense. So I think he's just sitting there, looking to the future like I'm going to be the starter of New Orleans here in a couple years.
Ring chasing.
Yeah, maybe. If they even get there, have you seen the referees? Well, the Saints.
Oh, I have.
Some other bullshit's gonna happen in the future, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be like the biggest face mask call ever not get called or something. I don't know.
Probably.
Another pass interference, just like last year's.
You throw the challenge flag, and they still don't overturn it.
Yeah, for real.
Oh my.
For real. They have
All the
challenge
Saints-
flags for that crap this year. And I swear, if New Orleans gets screwed like that again with a challenge flag, they're going to riot.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be pissed.
They almost rioted this past year too. After the game, they were rioting a little bit. I don't think as much, but I bet like next season, the very beginning, first game, they'll all throw red flags on the field or something. They'll do some dumb stuff.
Yeah. No
Is that
doubt.
really all the trades that happened?
Well, like I said, it was anticlimactic. Like all these big names are thrown up on the board, and none of them get traded. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kinda crazy.
It's just like I'm just looking on this page right here, and there's literally like nobody was traded. Everybody was talking the talk.
What about Jets gave away Le'Veon though? You would have to ask for a lot for Le'Veon.
It just depends on what they trade him for. It'd have to be like I don't even know.
I think they
Like
would have had to
2
trade
first round.
Jamal Adams and Le'Veon at the same time. I think that's why they didn't trade
Package?
either one. No, well, not even necessarily a package. I just think that they were looking for either young assets or draft picks and to rebuild their squad. And I think they were looking to send them both and get either a lot of picks in return or some like a 2-for-1 type deal, like 2 players for one. That way they get 4 for 2. But I mean, I could be wrong. I just don't know.
Where would you have loved to see Le'Veon Bell go though? I think I
Honestly-
say the Chiefs. I think he would have fed pretty good over there at the Chiefs.
Yeah, but they don't. I mean, they don't.
I mean, yeah, they have 2 good running backs. I mean, don't get me wrong.
He's got to have a good offensive line because he's a very patient runner. He's the most patient runner in the NFL, and that's why he was so good at the Steelers.
Yeah, the
Because
Texans
he
would have
waited
been
on his blockers.
What about
horrible.
what about the Rams? What about they're getting
They
Todd
don't-
Gurley not producing what he usually
Yeah,
does?
that's their offensive line, dude. Their offensive line's horrible. They're like the Bengals, or not the Bengals.
The
Uh,
Bengals.
They're like the exact opposite of the Cowboys. They just can't block. They're like the Texans' offensive line. The Texans and the Rams have horrible offensive lines. That's why I think Todd Gurley's not producing. No back out in LA is producing, and then poor Deshaun Watson is getting smoked every time he drops back, and Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson are having a hard time running the ball. So I don't know where I would
In-
have liked to see him. To be honest
Chicago.
with you.
She's probably gonna help out at Chicago.
I'd like to see him behind Dallas's offense if Zeke wasn't there. If Zeke wasn't
Yeah.
there and Le'Veon was up, he'd look pretty good behind that offensive line.
Yeah. That'd be-
Dallas
Oh,
doesn't
I'd-
have as great O-line as they used to a few years ago, but
It's
it's
just 'cause
still
they're all getting
still
old
good.
and getting hurt.
Yeah, it's still a good offensive line though.
Hey, he could have went to Buffalo and helped them out. Helped them out on offense. I'd have kind of helped them out. Their defense is good. I don't know who's running back at the Bills.
Frank
Oh,
Gore.
their leading rusher's Frank Gore.
Oh
Frank Gore
yeah.
and Devin Singletary. I don't know. The Bills need. I think the Bills are fine at running back. I think Singletary will fit in just playing under Frank Gore. The Bills need a receiver, a go-to receiver for Josh Allen, or even a tight end. He needs somebody that he can always count on, like a Jason Witten or like Mike Evans or DeAndre Hopkins, somebody like that.
Hey. They'll probably pick up a receiver this year.
Go back and sign Antonio. I know that didn't work out, but go pick him up.
He can do it again.
No,
He's free, I heard.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in school right now, kids.
Oh.
He don't want to take away school. He wants to study. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
That Antonio Brown thing's freaking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You go from being one of the top best in the leagues to you're just a number one drama queen in the freaking league.
Yep.
What do you think about if they OBJ asked out of Cleveland? You think he would?
I don't
about
know.
That seems a little drastic for them playing in their first year together.
Yeah, but there could be some behind the scenes stuff we don't know.
I think he'd ask for them to trade away Baker before he asked out. Yo, guys, look.
You think Browns pick up a new quarterback?
Listen, it depends on where they're at in the draft. It depends.
Well, they're gonna. Well, I mean, this year there's a lot of quarterbacks going to be in the draft that are good.
I mean, they could take a chance on a Ty Story or Phil Kelly or something.
Ty Story, Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say no. I was gonna say Justin Fields, but never mind. They can probably
go. They need to go and draft Kelly Bryant.
I don't know about that.
No.
I'm kidding.
No, about that one.
But they had us in the first.
They're waiting for Nick Starkel. They're just waiting.
Yeah, waiting for Nick Starkel. There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. That is it.
Yeah, they gotta wait another year.
Yeah.
And then they're waiting for Ben Hicks too.
Mm.
They're gonna draft both of them. They're first 1 and 2.
They can draft Ben Hicks this year.
Start one every other game.
Is he a senior?
Yep.
Yeah, he's a senior.
Thank
they're
God.
gonna draft him. Yep, we need him. We need this quarterback. And watch him ball out in the NFL. Just go out there and start touchdown after touchdown.
He can't make the throws.
Nope.
That's the biggest thing for him.
Hey, everyone said Lamar couldn't either.
No, Ben Hicks literally cannot throw.
That's true.
He can't throw the ball 20 yards downfield.
There's a reason Lamar won the Heisman. There's a reason nobody knows who Ben Hicks is outside of people in Arkansas.
And SMU. Well, y'all want to get into our predictions?
Yeah, look at those records.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That is not
I
a typo.
took some chances last week.
Just
last week.
Few.
Just a few.
Okay, but 2 of my losses were literally 3 points and a touchdown, so it's not that bad. It's not like it was a blowout. Only one was a blowout. Well, yeah. Then I don't know about the other one.
Fair enough.
Well,
so am I starting the predictions?
Yep, Chris, we're going left to right.
All right. Well, I got the Texans versus the Jaguars. I have the Texans winning that game. It's going to be, both offenses are good, but I think Texans has a little bit better defense. Even though J.J. Watt's going to be out, I really did not put that in my consideration. I'm not going to lie. That flew over my head. But I'm going to say it's either going to be a shootout or Texans will win. I just really want to see Texans defense be without J.J. Watt. That's what I think they can maybe do it. So I'm gonna go with the Texans.
All right.
My next game, Vikings versus Chiefs. I picked the Vikings because last week I picked the Chiefs and they didn't really get it done. So what was that, 7-point game? Was that the 7-point game? Was that the blowout they had?
Chiefs Packers?
Yeah.
That was a 7-point win.
Okay. But I'm gonna go with
loss.
the Vikings because their defense has been doing really good. I think Vikings will pull it out. I don't know if Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Vikings on that. Jets versus Dolphins. Man, that's gonna be a crazy game. Dolphins could get their first win, but I think the Jets have a little bit more weapons than the Dolphins. I think the Jets have a better running back and you know a better defense.
Yeah.
So I think Jets will definitely pull that one out. The Bears versus Eagles. I think Eagles will win it. Bears offense right now is not good. Their defense is good. Don't get me wrong, but you're gonna have to find a way to score. And I think the Eagles will just the Eagles will score
Mm-hmm.
and they'll be able to stop. The next game I got Titans versus Panthers. This one was kind of hard for me, but I'm actually going with the Titans. I think they're the underdog in this one, but I think they'll get it done. This is my long shot game.
Alrighty.
So my Raiders or Lions versus Raiders. I'm gonna go with the Raiders. Lions are. This is going to be a close game. This game I'm already going to say it's probably going to be 17-14. It's going to come down to a field goal, and I think Raiders will pull it out. I think Raiders are just playing. Derek Carr is doing insanely good, and Lions are also doing doing good. They had a loss where they should have had a win, but I think the Raiders will definitely pull this one out.
All right.
It's at the Raiders, isn't it? It's at Oakland.
Yeah, it's at Oakland.
Yeah, so I think they also have that advantage. Oh, now this is probably no. I changed. This is my long shot. I have the Patriots versus Ravens. I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
All right.
The defense has not been tested, so I don't know how they're gonna I don't know how they prepared for this week, but this is the first time I think they're actually gonna get truly tested.
Okay.
And I think Lamar Jackson is gonna have a good game. I think Tom Brady and the offense of the Patriots are good. Obviously they're always good. Their defense is insanely good, but they have to be tested. And I think the Ravens are going to pull this one out. I think the reason why I also say that is because the Browns actually put 13 on the Patriots, and I think Ravens have a way better offense. And the Bills game was also close, but Bills have a little bit better defense, so it's gonna be kind of this is probably gonna be the best game of the night. I'm definitely gonna go with the Ravens though. I'm gonna take this long shot and pray that they happen because I want Lamar to win, and I think I can see him winning, maybe by 3 or maybe a touchdown. But if it's not that, then the Patriots are gonna blow them out of the water. But that's all my predictions.
Okay, I'll go next. So in that Texans versus Jaguar game, I also have the Texans. I came to the rationalization that Houston was going to win based on I believe Houston has a better offense than Jacksonville's defense, especially now that Jalen Ramsey's gone, of course. I think they're going to be able to move the ball more effectively than Jacksonville's offense will on their defense. That's basically what I was thinking about. Even though Gardner Minshew and Leonard Fournette and DJ Chark have all had amazing seasons, I think Houston offense comes out of there. I think it'll be a shootout. So,
Very possible.
next game, Vikings versus Chiefs. I'm gonna roll with the Vikings. I just think that with Mahomes still out, I think Minnesota has a slight edge. And like Chris said, the Vikings defense has played pretty well here recently. And I think they'll, for the most part, shut down that offense. But who knows? That one could be a shootout as well if Matt Moore steps up and
That could
makes
very
his
well be a
throws.
high scoring
Matty
game.
Dimes.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Vikings. Jets versus Dolphins. I mean, this one's a toss up. I'm going
Yeah.
Jets. I'm going Jets.
I ain't afraid of no
There.
ghosts.
There ain't much to say about that one.
I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Bears versus Eagles. I'm going Eagles here. Just came off of a big win against Buffalo, 31-13. Not just a win, but absolutely dominated in all parts of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And Chicago's lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
One to Raiders, Saints, and Chargers. They lost all 3 of those. I just think that the Eagles are going to be able to move the ball against the Bears defense, but I'm not down in the Bears defense at all. They have one of the greatest defenses, but I don't think they'll be able to start Carson Wentz and
All right.
his offense.
That's fair.
Let's go.
Titans versus Panthers. I'm gonna go with the Panthers. I think that Kyle Allen and Christian McCaffrey can get it done on the offensive end. Let's see here. I don't know if Mariota's played okay this year, but I think the Panthers are just gonna be too much for the Titans to come out here with a win.
You know, they benched Marcus, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's true.
They got the
He's still
goat.
the
Goat
Who is it?
Tannehill, man. The goat Tannehill, man. He
Oh,
beat the
yeah.
Bucks last week.
I'm
Don't
still going
disrespect Ryan.
Panthers.
Oh man,
I'm still going Panthers.
how dare you disrespect Ryan Tannehill?
You picked the Panthers too.
Shh.
He doesn't know that yet. He doesn't know what he picked.
Yeah, quickly change it.
Lions versus Raiders. I was looking at that one probably the most. I think Matt Stafford's gonna go out there and have himself a field day.
Probably.
Him and Kenny G. I think that one will end up being a shootout as well.
Yeah.
Not really good defenses on either side of the football.
No, not really.
Two decent offenses. You got Matt Stafford and Derek Carr both having decent years. And Josh Jacobs having himself maybe an offensive rookie of the year season.
That's right.
Patriots versus Ravens. I mean, this will be the Patriots' first true defensive test. They're gonna
Yeah.
get their defense tested here against Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram's offense
Mm-hmm.
here. I don't know. Even though the Patriots haven't really played up to par, I guess you could say, competition this year. They're I don't know if they're gonna fully stop the Ravens, but they'll get some stops. They'll cause. I'm gonna say they'll make Lamar throw a pick, and there will be a fumble. That's my prediction.
Okay.
One pick, one fumble,
Alrighty.
and that'll be the key to the Patriots win this game. They're gonna
defense.
They're not gonna shut down Lamar and Mark Ingram, but they're gonna slow him down just enough to get the win.
Okay. Can see that. So I actually have a few different picks this week. I'm gonna go with the Jaguars simply because the Texans have 4 starters that are doubtful on their defense, and a couple of them are some Pro Bowlers. They got Tashawn Gibson's out. Then you got hold on. Just want to make sure. Yeah, so Tashawn Gibson's out. Garyon Conley's out. Lonnie Johnson Jr.'s out, and then Will Fuller and DeAndre Hopkins are both questionable. So if those two guys don't play, it's literally going to be Deshaun Watson by himself. So that was actually the deciding factor. Plus the Jaguars are at home. Gardner, the porn stash Minshew, the goat, the goat doing his thing out there. I don't know, dude. I like the Jaguars in this one. I think Leonard Fournette's having a good year, and not having J.J. Watt's really going to hurt the Texans' defense. So I like the Jags. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, just because, especially if Deshaun Watson doesn't have his two best receivers out there. So I'm going to go with the Jags, and then I'm going to go with the Chiefs just because Matt Moore played actually really well against the Packers' defense, which was surprising. I mean, I know he's been in the league for 7-8 years, so he's no scrub. But I thought his performance was impressive for coming in, filling in for Patty. So I like the Chiefs at home. I would agree with you guys in saying that it's going to be a shootout. The two offenses are both dynamic, and I mean, I don't see neither defense is necessarily elite.
No.
So I think Kirk Cousins and that explosive offense, and then Matt Moore and all the weapons he has, I think they're gonna have a chance to run up the scoreboard. Now Jets Dolphins, it's a toss up, but the Jets just have a few more weapons than the Dolphins do on both sides of the ball. So I'm going to go with the Jets. I think Sam Darnold's a better quarterback than either Ryan Fitzpatrick or Josh Rosen, but he's just been struggling this year. But he has better weapons, so I like the Jets in that one. Bears Eagles, I got the Eagles as well. Unanimous across the board on that one as well, just because I think the Bears don't have an identity on offense and the Eagles do. And the Eagles are at home. They're coming off a good win at Buffalo and a bad loss at the Cowboys. I think that loss at the Cowboys really kind of flipped a switch, and they showed that when they went to Buffalo and dominated the Bills. So I like the Eagles here. I like Carson Wentz better than Mitchell Trubisky. So I think their offense has more weapons as well. It'll be interesting to see how Jordan Howard plays against his former team. I'd like to see him pop off and have a good game, maybe rush for over 100 yards, maybe a couple TDs. But moving on, Titans Panthers. I like the Panthers simply because they got embarrassed last week. I mean, absolutely embarrassed. I picked the Panthers to win because I thought McCaffrey was going to be the X factor. I thought that the 49ers defense hadn't really been tested, and that Kyle Allen was playing good. And the 49ers were like, all right, we're legit. And they absolutely steamrolled the Panthers. So I like the Panthers to bounce back against the Titans. I'm going to say what I said last week. I think McCaffrey's the difference in this one. Just because the Titans, that offense is pretty stale. There's not a whole lot of explosive firepower to that offense. I mean, Ryan Tannehill might be one of the best quarterbacks ever. So it's nice to see him finally fitting in. Disclaimer, that was a joke because you can't see my face. But next game, Lions-Raiders. I like the Lions. I like Matt Stafford. I think having Kerryon Johnson out definitely does hurt. It showed last week too. Well, their leading rusher had like 30 rushing yards. So that's definitely going to hurt. So I think it's going to be an air raid battle between the two. I like Kenny G and Marvin Jones Jr. and TJ as well. I like that offense a little more. I will say Darren Waller for the Raiders has been an absolute unit on the field this year. He picked him up at a well-deserved extension. He's become a high target. Josh Jacobs, like you said, Brody's having a Rookie of the Year type season so far. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. But I like the Lions. And then Pats versus Ravens. I'm going to go with the Patriots until they prove, that we can't go with them. And right now they're 8-0. So hard to go bet against them. Now it is at Baltimore, so you never know. You could see Baltimore sneak out a dub. Lamar could pose problems for that defense, which I wouldn't mind seeing the Ravens upset the Patriots. But at this moment, I just think that defense is too good, and I think it's probably going to be a low-scoring game just because, for one, Tom Brady hasn't been himself this year, so he's I mean, he's still doing his thing, but it's just at a lower level than what we're used to. So I'm gonna go with the Patriots to round out my predictions. So we got some interesting ones. Some differences. So it'll be interesting to see after Monday. What our records are. See if Chris makes a jump in those. Let's see. He's got 3 games he could possibly get on us. So you never know.
Yep.
Yep, never know.
You never know.
You
I always like the
never
underdog,
know.
so I'll pick a lot of them.
Yeah.
No problem with
fair.
that.
Yeah. No problem at all.
No, that's because if I go to Vegas, I'm better on the underdog every time.
You
Got to.
leaving
That's how you
broke
win the most money.
every time.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
how
but
lose
if
the
you
most
win,
money.
it's when you walk out rich.
Yeah.
Well,
We do not
We
endorse
got-
gambling. That's a disclaimer. We do not endorse gambling.
no.
Do we?
No, we don't.
No.
So we're not supposed to tell him we have $30 on his best record?
No.
I'm just kidding. We ain't got it.
Well, do either of you guys have anything else y'all want to talk about?
Other
Yeah,
than the
go
fact
Astros.
that I look like a thumb. Not
Yeah.
really. Nope. Not
Well,
really. That's all I
alright,
got to
guys.
say, man.
All right, guys. This is kind of a shorter one for us tonight. Had to get some stuff done since it's the trade deadline
Yeah.
and talk about our predictions. No,
Yeah. Had to get
do
that
it.
content out, man.
Yeah. So I guess that will do it for us here. Like I said at the
Subscribe.
beginning. Yep. Like I said at the beginning of the video, subscribe, drop us a like, leave us a comment. Anything else y'all want to say?
What do we want them to do?
Subscribe.
That does it for us here. Until next time. See y'all.
See ya.
Later.